So the first question is saying transportation development is important for a nation because it aids the cultural and social development of a nation as well as it aids the economic activities to take place smoothly. Okay, that's why the answer is option C, both A and B. Then maximum flexibility and availability of transportation is offered by road transportation. Then, which of the following mode of transportation acts as feeder system for rest of the other mode of transportation? It is road transportation which acts as feeder supplier for other modes of transportation such as rail is there, air is there and water is there. Minimum tractive force to haul a load in unit distance is required in water transportation. Road transportation system is most important type of transportation system in a developing country because it is the only mode of transportation that provides origin to destination carriage of goods and people. Then it acts as one-to-one mode for supply and demand activities at doorstep of consumer and producer. Then it acts as feeder system for other modes of transportation such as air, water and railway. That's why option is D, all of the above. In first 20-year road plan, roads were classified into national highway, state highway, major district road, other district road and village road. Option A. Providing connectivity to all unconnected habitations having population 500 or more with all-weather road was objective of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Okay, PMGSY. Motor Vehicle Act was brought into effect by Government of India in the year 1939. A target of 16 km road per 100 square kilometer of area was set in first 20-year road plan or Nagpur road plan. National Highway Act was passed in the year 1956 while National Highway Authority of India NHAI became operational in the year 1995. Population growth trends, per capita income, development of agriculture and industrial fields are considered in economic studies of planning survey. Objective of highway planning is to plan a safe, efficient network and to ensure a minimum cost, to divide the overall plan into phases, to decide priorities and to work out suitable financial system, and to plan future requirements and to construct roads in plan period. That's why the option here is all of the above. Which of the following drawing plan shows desired line of road obtained from traffic volume and origin destination studies, and the plan is plan 4. Okay, plan 4. Which of the following aspect is considered in engineering studies of planning survey? Topographic and soil surveys are considered in engineering studies of planning survey. Then in saturation system, optimum road length is calculated for an area based on the concept of obtaining maximum utility per unit length of road. Then traffic or road use studies do not make use of location and classification of existing roads. Financial studies in highway planning are important since it provides data regarding revenue sources that the project is going to generate. Existing details of an area such as topography, road network, commercial activities are shown in Plan 1 of road planning drawing. Obligatory points in highway alignment are points through which alignment is going to pass and points through which the alignment should not pass. Correct order of the following stages of engineering survey for highway alignment are: first is map study, then we go for reconnaissance survey, then we carry out preliminary survey, then we go for final location, decision of final location. Then Rural Road Development Plan Vision 2025 has an objective of connecting every area with population more than 1000, more than 500 and less than 500 in 3 phases with basic access. Alignment of a highway should not pass through waterlogged area. Finalizing the best alignment from all considerations is done in preliminary survey. Collecting general characteristics of the area and choosing possible alternative alignments by conducting a rapid survey is done in reconnaissance survey. Key map shows all the proposed and existing roads and important places to be connected. General topography of the area where highway alignment passes can be studied using index map. If pavement surface is slippery and wet, driving wheels of vehicle revolve more than corresponding longitudinal movement along the road, which is known as slip. It is called as slipping. In highway alignment, which of the following plan is drawn to study datum line, existing ground surface and drainage crossing? It is longitudinal cross section. Existing road may be realigned for military requirement, avoidance of waterlogging in monsoons, then correction of undesirable undulations. Camber or claw slope is provided in order to ensure sufficient skid resistance in rainy season, then drain the rainwater off the pavement, then to prevent the entry of water into bituminous pavement. Bump integrator is used to determine unevenness index of the road. Worn out tires provide more friction on dry pavement, whereas new tires provide more friction on wet pavement. Impervious surface requires camber value of about 1.7 to 2%. In concrete pavements, shape of camber provided is a straight line. Highest point on the camber is called as its crown. Then, out of the following different types of road surfaces, which of the following requires highest camber value in low and high rainfall areas? It is water-bound macadam pavement. Excess camber provided on a road causes formation of cross ruts on pavement due to water. Then, minimum width of traffic separator required on a rural highway recommended by IRC is 5 meter. Then, IRC recommends width of carriageway to be 3.5 meters per lane for a multi-lane pavement. In case of narrow traffic separator, to reduce the glare from oncoming traffic from opposite lane, shrubs are planted on separator in narrow strips. Which of the curb type allows vehicle to enter shoulder at low speed? It is low type curb. Then submerged type curb provides confinement to flexible pavement. Type of curb provided in built up areas adjacent to footpath with considerable pedestrian traffic is barrier type curb. Then guardrails are provided along the edge of the shoulder in embankment when height of the fill exceeds 3 meter. Minimum shoulder width recommended by IRC is 2.5 meters. Then function of the shoulder is to act as an extra width of carriageway in case of emergency, then provide accommodation for disabled vehicle, then to provide structural stability to edges of flexible pavement. Frontage road is provided running parallel to highway in order to provide controlled access to properties. Driveways are provided to highways for connecting with commercial establishments such as fuel station or service station. Sight distance may get restricted due to horizontal curve, vertical curve or uncontrolled intersection. Stopping sight distance do not depend on none of the above. It doesn't depend on total reaction time of driver, then it doesn't depend on speed of the vehicle or brake efficiency, nor it depends on friction between the roads and tires. Absolute minimum sight distance is generally known as SSD, that is stopping sight distance. Then sight distance available for a driver depends upon height of the object above the road surface, then height of the driver's eye above the road surface and feature of the road ahead. Therefore, the answer is all of the above. In PIEV theory, time taken by the driver for the final action, that is applying brakes, is violation time. Okay, volition time. In PIEV theory, again, time required to understand the situation is called as intellection time. Then, in order to avoid skidding, brake should be applied gradually, that is slowly. Then brake force should not exceed frictional force between tire and the road. Coefficient of friction as suggested by IRC varies from 0.35 to 0.40, okay, mu's value. If brake efficiency is 100% for a vehicle, then on application of brake, the vehicle has 100% skidding probability. If Vt is equal to lag distance in meter, V is equal to speed of vehicle in meter per second, F is design coefficient of friction, that is mu, and small g is acceleration due to gravity. Then the stopping side distance on a leveled road is given by SD, that is stopping side distance, is equal to Vt plus V square divided by twice Gf. Then if V is speed of vehicle in meter per second, F is design coefficient of friction, G is acceleration due to gravity, then braking distance L in meter is given by L is equal to V square by twice Gf. Okay, if Vt is lag distance, V is speed, then F is mu, okay, design coefficient of friction, then small g acceleration due to gravity, and n is gradient. Then stopping side distance on a road is given by SD is equal to Vt plus V square by 2g and into F plus minus 0.01 n. Overtaking side distance do not depend upon speed of the vehicle behind the overtaking vehicle. On a two-way road having two-way traffic, if Vb is initial speed, T is reaction time, V is speed of overtaking vehicle, S is spacing of the vehicle, A is average acceleration during overtaking, then T is equal to square root of 4s plus A, then overtaking side distance is given by OSD is equal to Vb into T plus Vb into capital T plus twice small s plus V into capital T. Then if D1 is distance travelled by overtaking vehicle before the overtake, then D2 is distance travelled by an overtaking vehicle during the overtake, D3 is distance travelled by an oncoming vehicle during the overtake. Then for divided highways for one-way traffic regulation, overtaking side distance is given by OSD is equal to D1 plus D2. Then generally intermediate side distance is provided as 2 times as that of stopping side distance. Okay, ISD is equal to 2 times SSD. Then minimum length of overtaking zone should be 3 times the safe overtaking side distance. For design of side distance, condition that must be fulfilled for safety condition is enabling the approaching vehicle to change speed, enabling the approaching vehicle to stop, and enabling the stop vehicle to cross a main road. Then at rotary intersection, the minimum side distance should be 1 times, okay, it should be equal to safe stopping distance, okay, MSD, that is minimum side distance, is equal to SSD. Which of the following parameters do not depend on design speed? Okay, side distance, rate of super elevation, then length of summit and valley curve do not depend on design speed. Then if E is rate of super elevation, F is design value of lateral friction coefficient, then V is speed of vehicle in meter per second, capital R is radius of horizontal curve, and G is acceleration due to gravity. Then general equation for super elevation is given by E plus F is equal to V square divided by G into R. Then centrifugal force acting on a vehicle negotiating horizontal curve causes tendency of overturning about outer wheel as well as tendency of transverse skid. Impact factor or centrifugal ratio is given by P by W is equal to V square by G into R. Correct method or methods of attaining super elevation in field are elimination of crown of the camber and rotation of pavement. Okay, option C is correct one. Then psychological widening of pavement at horizontal curve is given by WPS, widening is equal to V by 9.5 into square root of R. Then if Wn is equal to mechanical widening. WPS is equal to psychological widening. WE is equal to total widening. Then relation between these values is given by WE is equal to WM plus WPS. Okay. Total widening is equal to mechanical plus psychological widening. Which of the following is not a function of transition curve in horizontal alignment curve? Enabling gradual introduction of Dusan superelevation, then gradual introduction of centrifugal force between tangent point and beginning of circular curve, nor it is improvement of aesthetic appearance of the road. None of the given option is a function of transition curve in horizontal alignment of highway. IRC recommended transition curve is spiral. Okay, it is spiral. Then exceptional gradient has the highest in value. Out of the following, exceptional gradient has highest value. Then ruling gradient is also known as design gradient. The setback distance or clearance is required from the center line of a horizontal curve. For side distance, it depends upon required side distance, capital S, radius of horizontal curve R, and length of the curve, that is L suffix C. The minimum length of ascending gradient which a loaded truck can operate without undue reduction in speed is called as critical length of grade. When gradient for a road needs to be greater than ruling gradient, limiting gradient is adopted. Maximum length for exceptional grade can be provided is 100 meter. If R is the radius of circular, then the maximum limit of grade compensation is given by 75 by R. Minimum gradient is adopted to take care of drainage along longitudinal direction. Grade compensation is the process of reducing value of gradient at horizontal curve. Summit curve has the upward convexity. Okay, summit curve has upward convexity. Criterion that governs the design of valley curve is required headlight side distance. Road hump is a type of relatively small summit curve. Out of the following four characteristics of road user, the most important is its vision. Mental factors that affect road user characteristic is or are knowledge and skill. Okay, and attentiveness and attitude is the psychological factor. Factor that affect human characteristics as a road user is physical, environmental, and psychological mental. From pedestrians' point of view, traffic planner and engineer should consider safe road crossing facility. Acceleration or deceleration and brake efficiency are the dynamic characteristics of vehicle that affect the road design. Environmental factors that affect the road user characteristics are traffic stream characteristics and roadside features. Weight of loaded vehicle affect the design of pavement thickness and gradients. Road design aspects considered with respect to vehicle dimensions are width of lane and parking facility. Length of vehicle and wheelbase affect road design aspects such as horizontal curve, vertical curve, and safe overtaking distance as well. Braking characteristics of vehicle affect following factor: spacing between vehicles, operational safety, stopping distance, and such way all the three options provided are correct. They do affect braking characteristics of vehicle. Out of these three measurements, that is braking distance, initial speed, actual distance of brake application, how many measurements are required in brake test for determination of skid resistance of pavement? Any two of the given three are required to determine the skid resistance in brake test of a pavement. Following road design aspect is not affected by vehicle speed characteristic. Nor the gradient is going to affect, nor the side distance, nor length of transition curve is going to get affected by vehicle speed characteristics for the given road design aspects. In traffic volume studies, PCU stands for passenger car unit. Traffic volume studies are carried out for computing roadway capacity, then structural design and strengthening of pavement, then planning and designing of new facilities. The difference between curved wheel path offset of front and rear wheel is called as off tracking and axle tracking. Short count method is adopted to overcome the drawbacks in manual counting method. Advantage of automatic traffic counter is it can record data for any given length of time. Then, for estimating the rate of growth and for planning future expansion, design variation, which of the following traffic volume data is used? It is trend chart. Traffic volume data can be presented in annual average daily traffic, then traffic flow maps, then variation charts also. Select the incorrect statement regarding manual traffic count. Okay, this method can work throughout day and night is incorrect regarding manual traffic count. It is not possible to keep personnel or staff 24/7 a day for manual traffic counting. Traffic flow maps are useful for representing traffic flow distribution along existing road. Route importance phasing the road development program and growth rate of different vehicle class is given by annual average daily traffic. Facilities and regulation needed at peak traffic periods are determined using variation charts. Annual average daily traffic, that is AADT, can be computed by using AADT is equal to average daily traffic, daily factor into seasonal factor into weekly factor. 30th highest hourly volume is taken as design hourly volume for the purpose of design of roadway facility. The 24-hour traffic volume count at any station on a specific day in any month of the year can be adjusted to average daily traffic by using formula as average daily traffic ADT is equal to traffic volume count into daily factor into seasonal factor. Travel time of vehicle is reciprocal of speed of vehicle and measure of how well a road network is operating. Space mean speed in speed studies is defined as average speed of vehicles in a certain road length at any time. In speed studies, average speed is defined as average of the spot speeds of all vehicles passing a given point on the highway. Average speed maintained by a vehicle over a particular stretch of road is known as running speed. Objective of spot studies are planning traffic control, deciding speed trends and redesigning highway and other facilities. Methods by which spot speed studies can be carried out are neither it is elevated observation method, nor it is floating car method, nor it is license plate method, none of the above. Then in which form spot speed study data can be presented? We can represent it in average speed of the vehicle, we can represent it in cumulative speed of the vehicle, we can represent it in model average. Okay, that way any of the above method can be used. 85th percentile speed is considered as safe speed limit. For highway geometrics design, which percentile speed is considered from spot speed studies? It is 98th percentile speed. Lower speed limit for regulation is taken as 15th percentile speed. In order to determine spots of congestion of traffic, causes of delays and amount of delays, which of the following method can be used? Okay, we can use riding check method, we can use interview method, and we can use photographic method as well. Okay, in order to determine spots of congestion of traffic. Okay, then in speed and delay study, which method is adopted for studying short test sections like intersection? Okay, we can go for photographic method. Then detailed and accurate speed and delay study can be obtained by using floating car method. Origin and destination studies are carried out to plan the road network, then plan facilities along the road, and plan schedule of different modes of transportation for the trip demand of commuters. Least traffic conflict is caused by this traffic maneuver method. Merging left causes least traffic conflict. Then, origin and destination studies are not carried out by photographic method. They can be carried out by tag on car method, written postcard method, and home interview method, but not by photographic method. Then, delay in vehicular movement and road congestion may take place in following origin and destination study method. Roadside interview method may cause delay in vehicular movement and road congestion. Then, weaving maneuver consists of merging and diverging as well. If C is capacity of single lane, V is speed in kilometer per hour, and S is speed headway in meter, then basic capacity of single lane is given by capital C is equal to 1000 V divided by S. Then distance measured between two successive vehicles in the same line from head is called as space headway. Then aspects of parking study are demand, characteristics and space inventory. Then practical capacity of road is affected by lane width, lateral clearance and width of the shoulders. If C is capacity of single lane, H suffix T is minimum time headway in second, then basic capacity of a single lane is given by C is equal to 3600 divided by H suffix T. Then parallel parking is preferred when less curb parking width and street width is available. Maximum number of vehicles can be parked in 90-degree curb parking. Considering parking space, maneuvering space, less accident probability and convenience of parking, the best angled curb parking is 45-degree parking. Then advantage of off-street parking are no congestion or delay in traffic takes place. Then inadequate sight distance is not a cause of accident from a road condition. Basic element in a traffic accident is road user and vehicle, road and its condition, environmental factors and weather. Then accident rates can be reduced using engineering, enforcement and education, triple E. Then which of the accident records may be combined together? It is condition diagrams and collision diagrams. Collision diagrams records are useful in order to compare accident pattern before and after the remedial measures to be taken. Then preventive maintenance of vehicle is a measure taken under engineering for reducing the accident rates. Engineering measures used for reducing accident rates are road lighting. Then flow regulation phase of traffic laws and regulations include turning and overtaking, regulatory signs and directions as well. Traffic laws and regulation covering vehicle control phase include vehicle registration. Then Motor Vehicle Act that covers various traffic regulation in India was passed in the year 1939. Advantages of one-way street are increase average speed, reduce accident rate and less number of conflicts. Then at right angled road intersection, if both the roads are carrying two-way traffic, then number of conflict points are 24. At a right angled road intersection, if one of the road is carrying two-way traffic and other road is carrying one-way traffic, then number of conflict points become 11. At right angled road intersection, if both the roads are carrying one-way traffic, then the number of conflict points become 6. Out of the following, which one is not a traffic control device? Okay. Signal is not a traffic control device, sign is not a traffic control device, and island is not also a traffic control device. In traffic signal, each light indicates a specific action to be taken by the vehicle operator, which red light means stop, amber light means it is clearance time, and green light means go. Then informatory traffic signs include parking signs. Regulatory sign do not include width limit sign, no parking sign and one-way sign. It does not include any of the above. Then average traffic volume for 8 hours on both approaches should be at least 650 motor vehicles per hour on major street with single lane. Difference between simultaneous signal system and alternate signal system is that signals show opposite indications in all signal systems. In simultaneous traffic signal system, lights are operated by single controller, then all the signal indicators are same throughout the road and cycle divisions are same. Optimum signal cycle is given by Webster method, which is C suffix O is equal to 1.5 L plus 5 divided by 1 minus Y. Then average traffic volume for 8 hours on both approaches should be at least 800 motor vehicles per hour on major streets with 2 or more lanes. Rational approach of traffic signal design is Webster's method. Then select the correct statement with respect to general principles of signal design. Red time is the sum of green time and amber time combined. Road marking consists of lines, patterns, word, reflectors and symbol on pavement. Then lines, patterns, word, reflector and symbol on curb and side of the pavement as well as on fixed objects near the roadway. Select the correct statement with respect to amber time. It starts after green time, yes, and it stops before red time, okay. It provides stopping time for approaching vehicles, correct. Then it provides clearance time for vehicles. Transverse solid lines across pavement indicate stop line for vehicular traffic. Yellow colored solid marking on a pavement indicates parking restriction. Divisional islands are used to separate traffic flow in opposite direction. Select the incorrect statement with respect to channelizing island. Okay, regarding channelizing island, it is incorrect that they act as traffic control device but cannot be used to change the direction of traffic. All the traffic maneuvers such as merging, diverging and crossing can be performed in intersection at grade. As per American Association of State Highway Officials, that is ASHTO, it suggests that lowest limit of traffic volume justified for a rotary intersection is 500. Then as per Indian Road Congress, that is IRC, traffic rotaries should be provided where intersecting traffic is about 50% or more of the total traffic. As per American Association of State Highway Officials, that is ASHTO, a rotary intersection may not work efficiently when traffic volume exceeds 5,000 vehicles per hour. As per IRC, traffic rotaries should be provided where the fast traffic turning right is at least 30% of total traffic. Then a rotary intersection is not suitable when pedestrian traffic is large, then mixed traffic is observed on the routes and number of intersecting roads are more than 7. Then in grids come separated interchange ramps. Indirect ramps have more distance to be covered and least chance of hazard. Objective of highway lighting is to increase visibility of the road, to add the feeling of security and protection in urban area and to reduce road fatalities and accidents. Then which of the following grade separation structure has water logging problem? Underpass has the water logging problem. Which of the following grade separated interchanges fulfills all the requirements of traffic? Full clover leaf fulfills all the requirements of traffic. Then during night driving, ability to judge the object on the road is due to sill out and reverse sill out both. When object on the road appears darker than the road surface, reverse sill out is obtained. When object on the road appears brighter than the road surface, we obtain sill out. Night visibility on a concrete or light colored road is more than that of black top surface when judgment is to be made by sill out of objects. Surface that becomes mirror like shining during rains should be avoided when heavy traffic during night time is expected. Yes, this one is true. Factors that affect highway lighting are lamp size, color, illumination, spacing of the lamp, height of the lamp upon they are going to be mounted, then layout of lighting and lateral placement of lights. Which of the following factor do not influence night visibility. None of the mentioned factors are going to affect or influence night visibility, which is size of object doesn't, time available to see the object is not, and glare on the eye of the driver is not going to influence night visibility. Then object adjacent to roadway such as island and vehicle are seen by reversal out. It is true. Lux is the illumination level of lamp. Okay, it is measured in lux. Out of the following lamp, which one is the cheapest that can be used for road illumination? Filament lamp is the cheapest one out of the given. Most economical solution in lamp selection is to choose the largest lamp size that will provide uniform pavement brightness. Indian Standard Institution recommend ratio of minimum to average illumination as 0.4. Indian Standard Institution recommends average level of illumination of 15 lux for main roads. ISI recommends average level of illumination of 30 lux for important roads carrying fast traffic. Economical solution in light spacing on the road can be achieved by using large lamp so that they are going to have more power consumption, but high mounting, that's tall pole, and wide spacing, thereby less number of lamps will be required. Okay. Wide asymmetric lateral distribution of light is suitable for very wide highways. Glare on the eye of road user increases with lamp power and decreases with increase in mount height. At intersection, suitable distribution of light is normal symmetrical distribution. Single side lighting layout is suitable for narrow roads and two-lane roads. For narrow roads, suitable distribution of light is two-way lateral distribution and narrow asymmetric lateral distribution. For wide road, suitable lighting layout is staggered as well as central. Then while installing lights on a car, more number of lights should be provided on a car. Then light should be installed on outer side of the car and spacing of the light should be kept closer. At simple intersection, the total illumination should be at least sum of illumination of intersecting roads. Then spacing of light to be installed on a road are calculated by using the formula which is given to us as spacing is equal to lamp lumen into coefficient of utilization into maintenance factor whole divided by width of road into average lux. Undesirable property of soil as a highway material is incompressibility, no it is not. Good drainage, no it is not. Least volume change, no it is not. Okay, these are the desirable properties which are mentioned inside the options. Strength of subgrade soil depends on its dry density, what kind of soil type we are going to use, and moisture content of the soil. Good drainage properties are desirable for being subgrade soil since it avoids excessive water retention and it avoids frost action as well. Shear test on soil is carried out to determine strength of the soil, which can be performed at lab or in the site itself, that is in situ. Objective of triaxial compression test of subgrade soil is to determine the shear strength of soil under lateral confinement. Possibility of drainage should be considered in testing the soil sample when the pavement is designed for static loads or parking utility. In triaxial compression test of subgrade soil, desirable 3 lateral pressure values used are 0, 0.75 and 1.5 kg per square centimeter. California bearing test, that is CBR, gives properties of soil such as arbitrary strength of soil. Strength of aggregate used in the road construction is defined as ability to withstand stress due to moving loads. Plate bearing test is used to evaluate supporting power of the subgrade by using large diameter plates. Resistance offered by the aggregate to abrasion is called as hardness. Aggregate resistance against impact load, that is hammering or vibratory load, is called as toughness. Attrition is known as wearing of stones due to mutual rubbing. Magnitude of impact on aggregate in a pavement increases with the roughness of load surface, then increases with the speed of the vehicle, then it also increases with weight of the vehicle. Durability is that property of aggregate by virtue of which it withstands adverse condition of weather. Also, it can resist physical and chemical action of weather and atmosphere, and it is also called as soundness of aggregate. Out of these two property, which one of the aggregate has to pass first? Okay, size test has to be passed first for the aggregate, then shape test is taken. Round aggregate are preferred in concrete mixes due to their low specific surface area. Flaky or elongated aggregate have more voids, they have less strength, and they are less durable. Round aggregates are preferred in concrete pavements. Angular aggregates are chosen in granular base because they have better interlocking properties. Strength of aggregate can be determined by crushing test. Affinity of aggregate should be more with bitumen than with water. Okay. Then if W1 is the weight of the sample, W2 is weight passing through 2.36 MMCU, then aggregate crushing value is obtained by using formula W2 by W1 into 100. While conducting aggregate crushing test, the aggregate specimen is filled in cylindrical measure in 3 layers and each layer is rammed 25 times by the tamper. In aggregate crushing test, the sample is compressed by a load of 40 tons applied at the rate of 4 tons per minute. Abrasion tests are carried out to determine hardness of aggregate. In which of the following apparatus abrasion tests can be carried out simultaneously on two samples? In Duval's abrasion test apparatus, we can carry out two tests simultaneously. Then aggregate crushing value for base core should be less than 45% and for surface core it should be less than 30%. Cast iron spheres as abrasion charge are used in Duval's abrasion test apparatus as well as Los Angeles abrasion test apparatus. In Dory's abrasion test apparatus, abrasion charge is used in the form of sand. In water-bound macadam WBM and bituminous macadam, aggregate abrasion value are allowed up to 50%. In high quality pavement, desirable abrasion value of aggregate is less than 30%. Abrasion value is expressed as percentage of wear in terms of original weight of sample. In aggregate impact test apparatus, the height of free fall for the hammer is 38 cm. In absence of abrasive charge, which apparatus is used to carry out attrition test? It is Duval's abrasion test. Then in aggregate impact test, resistance to fracture due to repeated impact is determined. Number of blows of hammer on the sample in aggregate impact test is 15. Maximum permissible value of aggregate impact test is 35% for bituminous material and 40% for WBM, that is water-bound macadam cores. Aggregate value should not exceed 30% when they are to be used in varying cores of pavements. In soundness test of aggregate, which of the following solution is used? Okay, we use sodium sulfate and magnesium sulfate solution. Soundness test is done on aggregate in order to determine resistance of aggregate against action of varying temperature condition, also against action of wet or dry condition, also against action of climate. In aggregate soundness test, after 10 cycles of test, the aggregate's loss of weight should not exceed 12% when tested with sodium sulfate and 18% when tested with magnesium sulfate. Soundness test of aggregate includes cycles of freezing or thawing and cycles of wetting and drying. After completing cycles of freezing, thawing and or wetting drying, aggregates is examined for visual evidence of splitting or crumbling, then shape changes are seen, then weight changes are observed. Flakiness index test is applicable to aggregate sizes more than 6.3 mm. Flakiness index of aggregate is the percentage by weight of aggregate particle whose least dimension is less than 0.6 times of their mean dimension. Then flakiness index of road aggregate should be less than 15% and should not exceed 25%. If average size of aggregate in sample being tested for flakiness index is 20 mm, then the flakes present in the sample would be aggregate passing through 12 mm slot. Elongation index test is applicable to aggregate sizes more than 6.3 mm. An aggregate should fall into elongated category if its largest dimension is 1.8 times the mean dimension or 80% more than the mean dimension. Then elongated and flaky aggregate are not desirable in road construction because they are less workable, they are prone to breakage, and they possess less strength than round or and cubic aggregate. Elongation index of an aggregate sample if found more than 15% by weight, it is then undesirable to use them as road material. Stones having lower specific gravity tend to be weaker, they are porous in nature, and they do absorb more water. If W is weight of aggregate, C is weight of cylinder, and Ga is specific gravity, then angularity number is given by the formula 67 minus 100 W divided by C into Ga. Angularity number of aggregate used in road construction varies from 0 to 11. Specific gravity of rocks used for aggregate is between 2.6 to 2.9. In water absorption test of aggregate, after soaking the aggregate in water, they are oven dried for 24 hours at a temperature of 110 degrees Celsius. In water absorption test of aggregate, 2 kg of aggregate is immersed in water for 24 hours. Generally, aggregate specimen absorbing 0.6 water are considered unsatisfactory. Water absorption of aggregate is expressed in percentage of water absorbed in terms of oven dry weight of aggregate. Then stripping of binder problem occurs in pavement due to use of bituminous mixture permeable to water and use of aggregates having more affinity towards water than that they have with bitumen. To determine bitumen adhesion of an aggregate, first they are fully coated with bitumen, then they are immersed in water for 24 hours at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. As per IRC, the stripping value of aggregate should not exceed 25%. Consider the following two statements. First is aggregate possess positive and negative charge. Then second statement is saying bitumen possess positive and negative charge. State whether the above statements are true or false. Both the statements are true. Aggregate do possess positive as well as negative charge. Then bitumen also possess positive as well as negative charge. Bitumen is obtained by distillation of petroleum crude. Crude petroleum is distilled, then we can obtain bitumen. Presence of mineral or inert material in bitumen makes it to be called as asphalt. Bitumen is completely soluble in carbon tetrachloride, that is CCl4, and carbon disulfide, okay, C2S. Then material used to reduce viscosity of bitumen is called as cut back. Naturally occurring pure bitumen is called as native asphalt. Native asphalt associated with large amount of mineral matter is called as rock asphalt. Undesirable property of bitumen to be used in road pavement is temperature susceptibility. Tar is obtained by destructive distillation of coal and wood in absence of oxygen. Topic wise explain objective questions and their answer will be discussed separately in the other videos, and I will maintain a separate playlist for that. For now, let's have a look at 400 plus objective questions and their more water. If W is weight of aggregate, C is weight of cylinder, and Ga is specific gravity, then angularity number is given by the formula 67 minus 100 W divided by C into Ga. Angularity number of aggregate used in road construction varies from 0 to 11. Specific gravity of rocks used for aggregate is between 2.6 to 2.9. In water absorption test of aggregate, after soaking the aggregate in water, they are oven dried for 24 hours at a temperature of 110 degrees Celsius. In water absorption test of aggregate, 2 kg of aggregate is immersed in water for 24 hours. Generally, aggregate specimen absorbing 0.6 water are considered unsatisfactory. Water absorption of aggregate is expressed in percentage of water absorbed in terms of oven dry weight of aggregate. Then stripping of binder problem occurs in pavement due to use of bituminous mixture permeable to water and use of aggregates having more affinity towards water than that they have with bitumen. To determine bitumen adhesion of an aggregate, first they are fully coated with bitumen, then they are immersed in water for 24 hours at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. As per IRC, the stripping value of aggregate should not exceed 25%. Consider the following two statements. First is aggregate possess positive and negative charge. Then second statement is saying bitumen possess positive and negative charge. State whether the above statements are true or false. Both the statements are true. Aggregate do possess positive as well as negative charge. Then bitumen also possess positive as well as negative charge. Bitumen is obtained by distillation of petroleum crude. Crude petroleum is distilled, then we can obtain bitumen. Presence of mineral or inert material in bitumen makes it to be called as asphalt. Bitumen is completely soluble in carbon tetrachloride, that is CCl4, and carbon disulfide, okay, C2S. Then material used to reduce viscosity of bitumen is called as cut back. Naturally occurring pure bitumen is called as native asphalt. Native asphalt associated with large amount of mineral matter is called as rock asphalt. Undesirable property of bitumen to be used in road pavement is temperature susceptibility. Tar is obtained by destructive distillation of coal and wood in absence of oxygen. Topic wise explain objective questions and their answer will be discussed separately in the other videos, and I will maintain a separate playlist for that. For now, let's have a look at 400 plus objective question and their answer of the subject highway engineering. Okay, let's start. So the first question is saying transportation development is important